Okay, so I'm home again, and I'm sitting down on the sofa. I've got my robe on. It's now about four something. I think it's about 4:30. So that would be from 9. Oh God, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 7.5 hours now without my patch, and I forgot to show the taking off of the patch, and I kind of feel like that was a big moment for me, because I've been on the fentanyl patch now for probably 6 years, I think now. And so it's a big moment to take it off and to think that I'm not putting it back on again. And I probably should have recorded that moment too, but I was in a bathroom in a public place when I took it off, because we left quite early this morning, and I didn't think to do that. But what I've still got is I've still got the marks on my belly where the patches were, and I can show you that quite easily. You see that? That's where the patch was. I got to clean that off with some alcohol later on today. So there was a 100 mcg per HR, and then there's a 50 mcg per HR right here. So I was on 150 at this point. I had been on 200 before, but my doctor had lowered it. And now that's an interesting thing to talk about, I think, because I thought I should mention why I decided to go off the patch, the fentanyl patch, and go on the Suboxone in the first place. And it was because of pressure from my doctors. If I'd had my druthers, I wouldn't have done it. I would have stayed on the 200 mcg per HR dosage, and that was working for me. And I was able to walk upright. I used a cane every day. But I was still, those are my dogs in the background playing. My female dog, Dobby, and her puppy that she had earlier this year. His name is, God, what's his name? Oh, Buddy, that's Buddy there. Anyway, we're training him to be a service dog for me because I'm having so many problems with my back and everything. So that's our little Buddy there, and then there's Dobby, his mom there. So anyway, those are the dogs. That's what you're hearing in the background. They're playing on the sofa beside me. So I've really got some of my favorite things around me. I've got a comforter. I've got my robe on. I'm about to sit and watch a movie, and my dogs are right beside me. I'm going to recline back in the sofa and all those kinds of things. I'm going to do everything I can to try and make myself feel as good as I possibly can, because this is only going to get worse. And I say that because I've been here before. There have been numerous occasions where I've gone to change my patch, and I've taken off the old patch, and I've forgotten to place the new one on because I've started talking with my wife or something like that, and I just get distracted for some reason, which is very easy for me to do. So I get distracted and I take off the patch and I don't put the new one on. So it's like the next day when I'm in such excruciating pain, my wife says to me, "Darren, do you have your patch on?" I'll look and there's no patch, and so that's what I know. How I know that it's only going to get a lot worse is because I've been there, and quite recently too. I've done that fairly recently. So what it's going to be like off it for 3 days, and also dealing with trying to go on a new medication, I don't know. We're going to see what happens there. So anyway, I've decided to go off of the fentanyl patch and try the Suboxone primarily because of pressure from my doctors. Now, this last year, and year and a half, maybe 2 years in the media, there have been an enormous number of stories about how fentanyl is a killer drug, and how it's a drug addict's drug of choice, and you touch fentanyl and you're ruined for life, and all these horror stories and scary things, same kinds of things that they used to say about marijuana back in the 50s and 40s, and that kind of crap. And sure, there probably is a dependency problem on fentanyl, but for someone like me who is, now I have to make two distinctions here of dependency. There is a physical dependency. My physical body is dependent on the fentanyl. Without it, I start having the shakes, and I start getting very bad dry mouth. I start sweating profusely. I start feeling like I have a flu, generally, like body aches, body chills. It's really an awful feeling. That'll last for about 7 to 10 days until it's finally out of my system. And there's that kind of a dependency, and then there's the emotional kind of dependency that you have, that you'll see in the rooms of AA and NA and those kinds of places, and in bars and dens and stuff like that all around the world, where you have drug addicts and other kinds of addicts who have an emotional dependency on their drug of choice, whether it be alcohol or cocaine or fentanyl or whatever, or Percocet or nicotine or whatever the drug of choice is. They'll have that kind of a dependency. Now, you can have a physical dependency on a drug without having an emotional dependency. And you can have an emotional dependency on a drug without having a physical dependency on the drug. Oftentimes, the two go hand in hand. That is true. Oftentimes, the two go hand in hand, but not always. Not always. And that's the mistake that so many people are making nowadays when they talk about fentanyl and addiction and pain and all those kinds of things. They think that as soon as you're on fentanyl, despite the fact that you've got pain and it's prescribed for pain, you are an addict. And you are addicted in both of those ways, both the emotional and the physical. Now, I may be addicted physically to the fentanyl, and I know I am, but emotionally I'm not. There are times that I forget to put it on, I don't think about it, I don't obsess about it. It's not my drug of choice. I don't really have a drug of choice unless it's reading or writing. Those are my two drugs of choice, reading and writing, the written word. And but fentanyl is certainly not my drug of choice, as has there never been a drug of choice for me. I don't have a history of drug abuse like that. So it bothers me to no end when my doctors are so harassed by the government and harassed by the media that they feel like they start to basically harass me to get off of the medication, and that's what's been going on for quite some time now. So I finally agreed to go down from the 200 dosage down to the 150, and that took me from walking upright with a cane to now needing a walker. I walk with a walker every day, no longer a cane, a walker. Why? Because I went down 50 on the scale of the fentanyl dosage scale, and so I went from walking with a cane to walking with a walker. What did my doctor say? He said, "Oh, I guess we maybe shouldn't have done that." Well, yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe we shouldn't have. Now I'm stuck walking with a walker for what looks like the rest of my frickin' life because it pisses me off to no end. You have no idea how much it pisses me off, and because I'm the one who deals with the repercussions of it. I'm the one who deals with the pain, the added pain, the extra pain. I'm the one who deals with the extra hassle of having to carry the frickin' walker around everywhere I go in the vehicle, and having to walk around with it. It's a pain in the fucking ass, that thing. And I really hate it. And it makes me look like an old man. I'm 50 years old. I walk around like I'm a 70-year-old man. It's ridiculous. And but that's what they've done. That's what they've done. And so I'm hoping that going onto the Suboxone will allow me to reduce the pain so much that I can get back to walking with just a cane. That is my goal. That is my hope. That is my, I don't know if I'm going to get there, but that is my hope. My hope is that I will get to being able to walk with a cane again and not with the walker. And so that's what I'm hoping will come out of this. That's what I hope is in it for me. You know, the new doctor I'm seeing to prescribe the Suboxone, she said to me on the phone the other day, "You've got to remember, Darren, that this is about a new way of approaching your pain, a new way of dealing with your pain. Yeah, it may be a new way for you, but it doesn't. It feels like, I don't know. It just feels so frightening. I got to tell you, it feels really terrifying. I'm really scared as hell to go through this process. And anyway, with that, I'll sign off. I'm going to turn on the movie, and I'm going to try and get some sleep here if I can. It's about 4:40 in the afternoon, probably by now, and I'm going to recline back and see if I can get some sleep. Bring the puppy on the sofa to come and hang out with me, and he's so soft. He's fun to pet. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, have a great day. Come back.